The groom who eloped with his first love at the wedding. Just outside the door, they got into a car accident. The doctor said, "The injuries are severe, he needs an amputation to survive." I told the doctor with tears in my eyes, "No way, at least leave him whole." The wedding was halfway through when the groom's first love showed up, crying that she wanted to marry him. Just like that, the groom left me, the bride, and ran off with his first love. Everyone was shocked, and I became a pitiful joke in everyone's eyes. Both sets of parents were in chaos. My parents anxiously rushed to me, asking what happened. I gave a bitter smile. 3 years of time ultimately couldn't compare to one plea from his first love, "Marry me." At that moment, I also woke up. My dad got so angry that he clutched his chest tightly. Sensing something was wrong, I quickly called an ambulance to take him to the hospital. In the hospital corridor, Daniel's dad tried to comfort me. "Sonny, leave Daniel to me. I'll make sure this brat gives you an explanation." Seeing my calm face, Daniel's mom nervously said, "Sonny, your dad already has a heart condition and is old. This has nothing to do with Daniel." They were scared that my dad's condition would implicate their son, trying to distance themselves right away. Their disgusting faces made me want to puke. Not wanting them to affect my mom's mood, I asked them to leave. Just after they left, I got a call from the hospital. "Is this Sonny?" "This is the hospital. Your husband Daniel was in a car accident. Family members need to come quickly." The hospital where my dad was taken happened to be the first hospital. It took me less than 5 minutes to get to the emergency department. The entire ER hall was filled with people, with painful cries echoing throughout. Half an hour ago, there was a serious chain reaction crash on the Seaview Bridge. Daniel, who eloped with his first love, just happened to be in it. Their car got stuck in the middle, almost totaled. Currently, both of them are critically injured, lying in the emergency rescue room, awaiting help. Soon enough, a doctor came up to me. "Are you Daniel's wife?" Daniel and I got our marriage certificate when we got engaged. Even though the wedding wasn't complete, legally we were married. Otherwise, the hospital wouldn't have contacted me first thing after the accident. I nodded, and the doctor handed me a surgery risk notice. "Daniel is in critical condition. Amputation is needed to save his life. Ella, who was brought in with your husband, is less injured and currently not in life-threatening danger. You need to pay the fees promptly so subsequent treatments can proceed. She stole my groom, and now she expects me to pay for her medical bills." I haven't lost my mind. I directly told the doctor I don't know her well. The doctor sighed and urged me to think it over. "Decide quickly so we can arrange surgery promptly." Refusing to sign the notice, I told the doctor through tears, "No way, at least leave him whole." Seeing the doctor's stunned expression, I turned and left. Then came some good news. After a series of tests, my dad's condition finally stabilized. He would only need a couple of days of observation to be discharged. My mom breathed a sigh of relief, holding my hand. "Sonny, don't get too worked up about Daniel. He'll pay for what he did to you." I gave a faint smile. No need for later. Karma already hit, didn't it? That same evening, Daniel's parents rushed to the ward in a rage. Seeing them, I took them outside immediately. "We'll talk here. My dad can't take any more stress." Once outside, Daniel's mom lunged at me to hit me. "Daniel was in an accident. Why didn't you save him?" I grabbed her thrashing hands and stared coldly. "When Daniel was in an accident, my dad was also being treated. How could I save him? Would you abandon your husband to save someone else's father?" Daniel's mom cursed. "So you just let the doctors give up on him? How can you be so heartless?" I took out my phone and dialed the police, shoving it before her face. "Which doctor claimed I asked to give up on him? I'll call the cops right now to sort this out." I never signed any consent forms or told the doctors to give up treatment. I don't believe any doctor would dare say such things to Daniel's mom. As expected, my threat scared her, and she accused me of not actively helping Daniel right away. She collapsed crying on the ground. "My son's life is ruined. He'll lie in bed forever. Are you happy now? You wretched woman, a jinx. You ruined everything." After I left the hospital, with no one to cover the fees, they contacted Daniel's parents. Daniel's life was saved, but both legs had to be amputated. Because of delayed treatment, he lost sensation below the waist and would be bedridden for life. I smirked. "Mrs., don't put this on me. The real jinx is lying next to your son." She froze and looked at me. I continued, "If Ella hadn't shown up, Daniel would be getting married now. No accident would have happened. You might even have a grandkid in 10 months. My words hit her where it hurt. She stormed to her feet, eyes blazing. "That which ruined my son's life, I'll end her." Watching Daniel's parents leave furiously, I smiled coldly. "Ella, this is your karma." A few days later, Daniel's parents came to see me again. They placed the diamond ring that Daniel was supposed to put on me at the wedding in front of me. I was puzzled. Mrs., what's this about? Daniel's mom smiled at me. Sonny, you're the only daughter-in-law we recognize. I pushed the ring back. Everyone can see Daniel's choice clearly. I have nothing to do with him anymore. Hearing this, Daniel's mom's face immediately turned dark and serious. That won't do. You two are legally married. I instantly understood the malicious intentions of Michael's parents. I called them out on the spot. Auntie, this isn't about recognizing me as a daughter-in-law. You just want a cheap caretaker for Daniel in his later years, don't you? Now that Daniel was a cripple, his mom thought of me. My mom was furious, pointing at Daniel's mom and cursing. You're a mother too. How can you be so heartless? You're pushing my daughter into a pit of fire. We will never agree to this. Seeing that her ploy was exposed, Daniel's mom dropped the pretense. Sunny is Daniel's wife. It's her duty to take care of him. If you don't take care of my son, I'll go to court. Even in death, you'll belong to our family. This enraged my mom even further. Not expecting them to be so shameless, my mom chased them out with a broom. Before leaving, Daniel's mom warned me, I'll give you 3 days to think about it. If you don't come home, you'll suffer the consequences. Shameless old hag. I'd love to see what more she can do. Sonny, your husband's mom came to the office causing a scene. Tony is mad. You need to come back and handle it. Even though I was on leave, I rushed back to the office as soon as I got the call from my colleague. When I arrived, I saw Daniel's mom handing out flyers to the office workers, accusing me of abandoning her son. She was causing such a commotion that 2 big clients who came for a visit got scared off. Seeing me, Daniel's mom rushed over, grabbing my hand and yelling loudly, "Everyone, look at this wicked woman." After her husband's car accident, she ran back to her mom's house, not caring whether he lived or died. Not only that, but she also accused me of cheating. This office building housed more companies than ours. Daniel's mom's loud voice quickly drew a lot of attention. People started pointing fingers and whispering about me. Daniel's mom, pleased with herself, spoke in a voice only I could hear. This is just a little lesson for you. Understand, I had thought that since Daniel had already suffered, I didn't need to seek revenge. But given how shameless Michael's family was, I decided not to hold back anymore. It was time for the old lady to suffer. Most people sympathize with the weak. Daniel's mom was older than me and my supposed mother-in-law. Her accusations had already won her some sympathy. I suddenly threw my bag on the ground and clutched my face, wailing, "They've gone too far." At our wedding, her son ran off with his first love, causing my dad to have a heart attack. Now that he's been in a car accident and become a vegetable, they want to force me into a life of widowhood, threatening to kill my whole family if I don't comply. Some colleagues I invited to my wedding knew about what happened. After the incident, gossip spread quickly within the company. Hearing my cries, some colleagues couldn't stand it anymore and began to scold Daniel's mom. "You're being too much, old woman. Your son deserved it for cheating. No wonder he's a cripple now." Most modern women can't stand jerks or evil mothers-in-law. With my colleagues' support and my own cries, people started to turn against Daniel's mom. Seeing the tide turning so quickly, Daniel's mom was dumbfounded. She still tried to insist, "You married my son. You're part of our family. It's wrong if you don't take care of him." This completely angered the crowd. Daniel's mom's words were no match for everyone's scorn. With support from many helpful colleagues, the company called the police. When the police arrived, I didn't even have to explain things myself. My colleagues spoke out in my defense, explaining the situation. Daniel's mom was taken away for investigation, charged with disturbing the peace, disrupting company operations, and defamation. Later, Daniel's dad arrived at the police station. He offered to pay me compensation if I dropped the charges against his wife. I told the police I didn't want any compensation. I only asked for legal punishment for Daniel's mom, even if it was just a few days in jail, to make sure she learned her lesson this time. With Daniel's dad dealing with his wife's issue at the station, I took leave and went to the hospital. Without resolving the divorce, there could be endless trouble ahead. I took the divorce papers to Daniel's room. Daniel was just waking up. Seeing me, he got excited. "Sonny, I didn't expect you to visit me." I gave a cold smile, pulling out the divorce papers and handing them to him. "Sign the divorce papers." Daniel's eyes widened in shock. "After all this, you still want a divorce?" I asked. "What, you want me to stay and live like a widow? Besides, didn't you want to be with Ella? I'm helping you two out." Daniel frowned, looking at me. "Sonny, that was a mistake. I want to marry you. When I recover, we can hold another wedding. I promise I'll make you happy this time." Daniel was now bowing down to me, hoping I would be his free caretaker for life. My patience had run out. "Cut the crap. Are you signing the papers or not?" Seeing my firm stance, Daniel dropped the act. Getting a divorce is impossible. He arrogantly claimed, I'm still hospitalized and injured. Even if you go to court, the judge won't approve the divorce. His face was even more disgusting than his mom's. How had I ever fallen for this guy? But I had prepared for this already. I took out my phone and showed him the video Ella sent me on the wedding day. Daniel was shocked and said, how do you have this? Originally, Ella sent it to make me give up on Daniel. Unexpectedly, this loving video became my strongest evidence. Your infidelity during the marriage is clear. How do you think I'll fare in the divorce case? If you sign now, we can part amicably. If it goes to court, you'll be the one embarrassed. My words left Daniel defeated. Seeing my firm stance, he reached for the pen. As long as he signed the agreement, it would all be over. Just as Daniel was about to sign, his father suddenly barged in and snatched the divorce papers, tearing them to pieces. Sonny, you want a divorce? No way. Daniel's father, looking agitated, said to Daniel, this evil woman tricked your mother into getting arrested. She's taking advantage of our absence to force you to sign the divorce papers. Hearing this, Daniel was furious. Sonny, how could you be so manipulative? Manipulative? Me? Am I the one who made Daniel's mother come to the office and ruin my reputation? I thought Daniel's father had some sense, but clearly, they're all snakes in the grass. Daniel, are you sure you won't sign the divorce agreement? Daniel glared at me and said viciously, even if I die, I won't let you get your way. Fine, see you in court. If there's no way to talk, we'll go the legal route. Just as I left the room, Daniel's father chased after me. You can't leave. You must come to the police station to sign a reconciliation statement. My wife isn't out yet. You can't go. Facing Daniel's father's relentless pursuit, I turned to look at him. Didn't he say I was ruthless? Then I'll show him ruthless. I grabbed my collar and threatened, believe me, if I scream harassment, you'll end up joining your wife in jail. Let's see who will protect Daniel then. Daniel's father was obviously scared. He stood there, stunned. As I walked away, I could still hear his enraged voice behind me. You have to be more shameless than these scoundrels. When I got back, I immediately contacted my lawyer. My marriage to Daniel was a joke. It had to end as soon as possible. The lawyer told me that Daniel was the at-fault party in this marriage. He had an affair before the accident, so the court would likely support my divorce request. Just as I left the lawyer's office, I got a call from my new properties management. Miss Sunny, your place was robbed. After hanging up, I rushed to the new house. The property manager was already waiting at the door, and as soon as he saw me, he explained the situation. Do you want us to call the police? This was the house Daniel and I were supposed to live in after our wedding. Since the wedding disaster, I'd been staying at my parents' place. I'll check what's missing first. I rushed to the master bedroom. All the gold jewelry and valuable items from my dowry were gone. A rough estimate showed they'd be worth hundreds of thousands. The security guard, who had accompanied me to check the house, said, it doesn't look like a break-in robbery, more like an inside job. I looked back at him, and he quickly explained, typically, thieves ransack the place, but here, except for the master bedroom, no other room doors were opened. If it wasn't someone familiar, how could they know exactly where the valuables were? With the guard's hint, I immediately realized what had happened. Recently, my cousin had recommended an all-cover surveillance system, so I installed one in the new house. Now it came in handy. I turned on the surveillance footage and immediately knew the truth. In the afternoon, Daniel's father brought two men to the new house. They ransacked the place and took everything valuable. The nerve of these people. When Daniel chose Ella, my heart completely died. We could have parted amicably, but this was too much. I couldn't let them go this time. I picked up my phone and called the police. I'd like to report a burglary. Just as I reached the police station, Daniel called furiously, Sonny, don't go too far. I was speechless. Your dad brought people to rob my house, and I'm the one going too far. Daniel retorted, that's my dad. How is that stealing? I'd lost all patience with this man. Stop whining on the phone. If you have the guts, say it to my face. He was now a cripple, lying in a hospital bed, unable to get up. If he really managed to stand before me, I'd let it go. I hung up the phone. With the surveillance footage as evidence, the police quickly brought the three involved to the station. Daniel's father was extremely defiant. Officer, I was just taking things from my house. How is that stealing? Seeing me enter, he stood up, angrily pointing at me. I want to sue her for defamation and ruining my reputation. I threw the house deed on the table. Want to take a look at the name on this? You went to my house and took my stuff. Did you get my permission? Taking without asking, that's stealing. Want me to take your theft footage to your workplace and let your colleagues see your behavior? Under my aggressive confrontation, Daniel's father was nearly gasping for breath. You dare. I wanted to argue more, but my lawyer, who had come with me, stopped me. He pulled me aside, signaling to calm down. The lawyer told me that due to my relationship with Daniel, the theft charge would likely turn into a family dispute. The police were more likely to mediate than file charges. The lawyer advised focusing on transferring assets. This way, not only could I recover my losses, but it'd also help my divorce case. I agreed with the lawyer's suggestion and let him handle the rest. After Daniel's father reluctantly returned the stolen items, the police released the three. The divorce case officially began, and Daniel's side also hired a lawyer. Daniel's parents attended the hearing on his behalf. The couple tearfully accused me of mercilessly abandoning Daniel, claiming he faced high medical bills to save his life. They want the court to dismiss my divorce petition and make me take care of Daniel, including paying his medical bills. My lawyer almost laughed at such an unreasonable request. Thankfully, we had a videographer at our wedding, so the lawyer played the wedding video in court. Not only that, but we also had evidence that Ella had sent me to brag. Daniel didn't marry my client out of love. It was a premeditated scam. Then the lawyer presented police reports, showing Daniel was after money. When the marriage scam didn't work, they used my parents' reputation and my property against me. Cheating during the marriage was a fact, as well as transferring assets. This divorce case was basically in the bag for me. Seeing the situation was unfavorable, Daniel's mother started causing a scene, pretending to faint in court. After the opposing lawyer intervened, the court agreed to postpone the trial. They were just stalling for time. Causing trouble at my company won't work, and neither will taking my money. Now their son is paralyzed in the hospital, becoming a burden. If his parents want to toss and turn, let them. I'm definitely winning this case. These days, Daniel keeps trying to contact me, but I decline every time. My lawyer drafted the divorce agreement and handed it to me. He advised me to get Daniel to sign the agreement outside of court. That would be more time efficient for me. I wanted to get rid of this huge headache quickly and return to a normal life. I took the agreement to the hospital. Before I could enter the ward, I heard Daniel's mother complaining about me. Who would have thought that girl who seemed obedient is a fake? Now her real face is showing. Daniel, listen to me, we cannot get divorced. She's their only daughter. As long as you stay married, your medical bills and future are guaranteed. And that Ella is disgusting too, thinking we'd pay for her treatment. No way. Daniel replied impatiently, Mom, I understand. I've been keeping in touch all these days, right? Keep playing the bad cop. I'll handle the rest. She's liked me for so many years. If I say a few sweet words, she'll go soft. Shameless. Daniel and I were college classmates. Once, during a class hiking trip, I fell into a creek. The water was fast and no one dared to jump in. It was Daniel who jumped in at the critical moment and saved me. I noticed him from then on, but I never thought of bothering him. After breaking up with his girlfriend, he asked me out half a year later. I tirelessly took care of him until he proposed, but he abandoned me at the wedding, completely shattering my hopes. I never thought he could be such a jerk. The ugliness of human nature disgusts me at this moment. After I blocked them, the world became much quieter. A sudden call from a neighbor unsettled me. Emily, your dad is in the hospital, hurry up. I hung up and rushed to the hospital without even requesting leave. The neighbor hurriedly took me to the emergency room door. Your father's having a heart attack, he's being resuscitated inside. You need to calm your mom down. My mom was curled up to the side, clasping her head with trembling hands, making my heart ache. Mom, I'm here. Hearing my voice, she looked up at me with teary eyes. Then she collapsed into my arms, sobbing. Seeing her in such a bad state, I could only ask the neighbor for details. My parents lived in a company-issued apartment, and the neighbors were like family, having lived together for over a decade. Neighbor Linda told me someone caused a huge commotion at our home today. When they noticed something was wrong and rushed over, my dad had already suffered a heart attack. Emily, the woman who came was fierce. She kept cursing you and caused your dad's illness. You must not let her get away with it. Cursing me and causing my dad's illness. A suspicious person immediately came to mind. I took out a photo of Daniel's mother. Auntie, was it her? The neighbor glanced at the photo and nodded. Yes, that's her. Very fierce. She even said that you must not hide, that she'll ruin your whole family. My inner rage reached its peak instantly. I couldn't believe they could be so excessive. Failing to find me, they targeted my parents, knowing fully well my dad had a heart condition. This was deliberate harm. This family is despicable, neglecting others' lives for their own selfish gains. If my dad wasn't in critical condition, I would have rushed over to confront that old hag. I walked to the stairwell and called Daniel. Sonny, you finally picked up. Do you know what? Hearing Daniel's voice disgusted me. Drop the act. Your mom came to my house, causing my dad to have a heart attack. If anything happens to my dad, I won't spare your family. The next second, Daniel's mother took over the phone. Don't you dare threaten me. My son is already ruined. I fear nothing now. If you obediently listen to me, I'll treat you as a good daughter-in-law. If not, I have 100 ways to kill you. Shameless. She's utterly shameless indeed. Normal communication with this crazy old woman was impossible. I hung up. Since they won't let me off, I won't show mercy. Why are you here? Ella looked up at me, her face turning dark instantly. I placed the fruit basket aside, pulled up a chair, and sat down, completely ignoring her dark face. I heard you lost your baby. I found out later that Ella was pregnant with Daniel's child. Ella's fury erupted at the mention of the child. She struggled to slap me. You came to laugh at me today, didn't you? You think I deserve it, that this is karma. At least she knew this was karma. I caught her swinging hand and looked at her calmly. I'm not here to humiliate you today. I'm here to help you. She eyed me suspiciously. Help me? You have such a kind heart. It's not kindness. I just can't stand seeing them bully you. You got rid of your uterus for Daniel, and they still came to beat you up without helping with any medical bills. Ella was visibly affected by my words, but still tried to show her disgust towards me. You don't need to sow discord. I know you're just jealous that Daniel loves me. Her smug attitude almost made me laugh. Daniel loves her. I used to think so too, but now I realize the only person Daniel loves is himself. I saw how selfish they are. I threw my phone at Ella. You say Daniel loves you, then open your eyes and take a good look. The phone was loaded with Daniel's mushy texts to me, where he said all sorts of gross things trying to win me back. Ella scrutinized them, gripping my phone so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her true feelings were showing. Ella, think about your parents. When I arrived, I saw them in the billing hall. I had made sure to take a photo of her parents there. Ella's family wasn't well off. Though she was less injured than Daniel, she still faced hefty medical bills. The chain car accident meant insurance was still being disputed, and the upfront costs were a lot for her to handle. Seeing her parents' photo in such a situation instantly broke her down. She looked at me, her eyes full of hatred. How can you help me? It's not like they are poor. Daniel was driving. Doesn't he have any responsibility? They dare act so arrogantly because you're not locals. Daniel's mother had caused a scene in the hospital room multiple times, calling Ella a jinx. She had even had verbal clashes with Ella's parents. I didn't believe for a second that Ella wasn't harboring resentment. Ella knew I wasn't entirely helping out of goodwill. She asked what my motive was. I didn't hide it. Their family wants me to return to take care of Daniel for free, as his caregiver for the rest of his life. Do you think that's possible? As for you, they aren't short on money. You gave up your chance to be a mother for Daniel by removing your uterus. Don't you deserve compensation? Sincerity is the best weapon. Ella agreed to cooperate with me, providing crucial information. Sure enough, Ella was my trump card against them. 2 days later, I sent a report to a certain company's email. Ella had told me that Daniel once bragged to her. During his tenure, Daniel's father had taken undue advantage of his position for personal gain. Once I had this critical information, I started investigating. Since Daniel's father had retired, it was easier to find information about him. Within no time, I found the leads. I prepared the evidence and sent Daniel's father a one-way ticket to jail. If he thought he could retire peacefully while causing chaos in my life, he was dreaming. Ella was, after all, Daniel's first love and knew a lot about him. She had much information that was valuable. Thanks to her, I was able to complete the report swiftly. Knowing Daniel for so long, we shared many mutual friends. If I wanted to, I could keep tabs on Daniel without even leaving my house. Soon enough, I got word that Daniel's father was taken into custody. While Daniel lay in the hospital, his father was being investigated. With their anchor gone, they were in chaos. I immediately informed Ella. Now, it was time for them to take the stage and perform. Although Ella was in the hospital, she didn't sit idle. After realizing that her family's weak position was why they were being bullied, she got in touch with her relatives back home. Her family was from a small coastal town in the south. Upon hearing that their family member was being bullied so badly, her relatives promptly agreed to come and help. After receiving my update, Ella quickly booked tickets for her relatives. Soon, her parents, accompanied by relatives, arrived at Daniel's hospital room. Ella even set up a live stream for me. When Ella's parents walked in, Daniel's mother was still arrogant. What is this jinx doing here? Isn't it bad enough that she harmed my son? Ella's mother didn't hold back this time. You dare act so arrogantly after harming my daughter like this? Do you think we don't have anyone? Previously, Daniel's mother had the upper hand and thought she could easily handle them again. So she was very cocky. So what if we bully you? Who are you to challenge us? Get out of here now. Ella's mother got furious and called for backup. Aren't you gonna do something about being bullied like this? In the next instant, everyone swarmed. Daniel's mother was stunned. What are you trying to do? Seeing what was happening, Daniel panicked and yelled at his mom. Mom, call Dad quickly. He seemed to forget that his dad was currently in jail. The men stayed on the outer perimeter, while a group of aunts charged in and mercilessly beat Daniel's mother. Can't believe you couldn't even keep your vile mouth shut. Think you can bully us cause you think we're weak? Let's see about that. Had the hospital not called the police, Daniel's mother might have been torn to pieces. She lay on the floor, her eyes swollen from crying, with multiple cuts on her face and body, and her clothes ripped to shreds. The sight was immensely satisfying. When the police arrived, after assessing the situation, and facing a horde of loud and aggressive middle-aged women, they had no choice but to opt for negotiation. The police advised Daniel's mother to resolve it peacefully. Seeing the multitude, Daniel's mother didn't dare act up anymore. They took the opportunity to demand Daniel be held responsible for all of Ella's medical expenses and future compensation. Daniel's mother refused, so Ella's family threatened to protest until Daniel agreed. They began their daily visits to Daniel's home and hospital room. This move frightened Daniel's mother immensely. She cursed those people as scoundrels, but she had no way to solve the problem. Daniel was so scared he didn't even dare to make a peep. He could only let Ella propose compensation and obediently sign the documents. All of Daniel's family money went to pay them off, and with Daniel's father still in custody, Daniel was out of options. Daniel's mother had no choice but to risk sending Daniel back to rest. I heard that Daniel's mother was even asking Daniel's friends about me, hoping to milk me for money. Luckily, they kept her busy. They came knocking every 2 or 3 days, and I heard Daniel's mother was so troubled she didn't dare to leave her house. She couldn't come to find me, but I could find her. In the morning, I brought the divorce papers and knocked on Daniel's door. When she saw it was me, Daniel's mother was a bit surprised. "Why are you here?" she asked. "I'm here to see Daniel." Daniel's mother sneered. "What good could it be for you to see my son?" She was arrogant, but I wasn't going to tolerate it. If I didn't drive this old woman crazy, I'd feel like I was going too easy. "No, fine." I turned around to leave. The next second, she changed her mind and grabbed my arm. "Don't go." I quickly shook off her hand. "Don't touch me, you're bad luck." She was so angry she wanted to curse at me, but I was faster. "If you want me to call a bunch of relatives to cause trouble, keep running that mouth." Daniel's mother was already scared of the Yi family, and she immediately backed down. Turns out, being too nice invites bullying. I knew where Daniel's room was, so I pushed past his mother and headed straight there. When I walked in, Daniel's eyes lit up. "Sonny, did you come to see me?" He was still pretending to be in love with me. Maybe the accident messed up his brain too. I threw the divorce papers at him. "Stop talking and just sign it." Realizing I was there for the divorce, Daniel's face went cold. "Sonny, there's no way I'm divorcing you. Give up that idea." Shameless. Was he really going to cling to me? Too bad for him. His plan was doomed. "Fine, let's drag this out. Wait for the court case to end. If you want to appeal, I'll see you in court. Let's see who can outlast who." Daniel and his mother exchanged suspicious looks. Daniel even tried to threaten me. "You're a girl. Aren't you afraid of dragging this out?" "What do I have to fear?" I grabbed his injured spot, making him scream in pain. "Daniel, living without money for treatment is tough. If I don't divorce you, you won't get any of our shared assets either. Given your family's situation, will you even make it to a successful divorce before something bad happens to you?" Daniel, enraged, cursed. "Stop talking nonsense. When my dad gets out, all the troublemakers will be dealt with." I couldn't help but laugh. "With all the money your dad embezzled, he'll be in jail for years. By the time he gets out, you might be bones." Daniel didn't expect me to know so much about his family's affairs. He looked helplessly at his mother. These days, Daniel's mother had been worn out and lost her fighting spirit. I took the opportunity to make an offer, tempting Daniel. "You have a share in the house. If you agree to sign, I'll convert your share into cash immediately. With money, you can survive and help your dad with his connections. What do you think?" Even with such a generous offer, Daniel's mom still cursed me for kicking them when they were down. Greedy people like them deserved what they got. Finally, Daniel agreed to sign the divorce papers and had his mom handle the process. Under the lawyer's supervision, I transferred the house money to Daniel's account. The moment the transfer was successful, I immediately informed Ella. Daniel thought he could keep it a secret, but it was impossible. Ella's family showed up at Daniel's house the same day, demanding he hand over the money for Ella's compensation. Daniel's mother didn't want to give it, but they refused to leave. They ate, drank, and stayed at Daniel's house, driving Daniel towards depression. Daniel's mother called the police several times to no avail and eventually had to give in. paying to settle the matter. The money that had just come into their hands was gone again. Daniel's other family assets were frozen due to his father's investigation. Daniel could only lie in bed, missing the best time for treatment. Investigation into Daniel's father's case was concluded. The evidence was irrefutable, and now Daniel's father faced criminal punishment. The day Daniel's mother got the news, she fainted from shock. She's still in the hospital, hasn't woken up yet. This is Daniel family's retribution. Initially, I could have let go of Daniel's betrayal, and we could have amicably parted ways. But Daniel's family's selfishness pushed me to the limit. Today's consequences were all caused by themselves, and they have no one else to blame. The day my dad was discharged, I ran into Daniel in a wheelchair at the hospital. In just a few days, I almost didn't recognize him. He was emaciated, barely skin and bones, struggling to move with a basin of water towards the ward. When he saw me, he lowered his head. I acted like I didn't see him and helped my dad leave. Now that we're divorced and Daniel's family has faced their retribution, we have no more ties. My dad also saw Daniel. He sighed deeply and said, "People shouldn't take things too far. There will be retribution." I smiled faintly. "Dad, let's go." When Ella was leaving the city, she called to meet up. She had decided to go back home with her parents. Given the state of Daniel's family, she couldn't benefit from them anymore. With the money from Daniel's family and the insurance payout, she planned to buy a small house back home and quietly recover. She met me to apologize. "Sonny, I'm sincerely sorry for the pain my mistakes caused you. I'm truly sorry." I shrugged indifferently. To me, there's no absolute right or wrong in relationships. The only mistake was Daniel's, for having one foot in both camps, bouncing between me and Ella. As for Ella, this accident was her own price to pay. Losing the ability to have children was punishment enough. I raised my glass and lightly gestured towards her. "Take care and best of luck. I don't know what her future holds, but I can only wish her well. As for my future, I'm confident it will be happy."